Hello everyone, this is Blade Bananas. Welcome to a new video. In this video, we're gonna showcase Ultra League team that consists of XL Perrserker and two XL Pokemon that I played during my very first sets of Ultra League Premier Cup. I had tons of fun with this Perrserker team. I was trying a different Pokemon other than Lapras here. Initially, we had Gyarados instead of Lapras, and it wasn't doing very well. So I decided to switch it up and just try new things with the Lapras here. And we actually got over 100 points, plus 100 points, or just over 3 sets with this team. Because I think we went 2 and 3, and then 4 and 1, and then we got a 4-0-1. And then it made us climb over 100 points, and we actually hit over legend, like for the second time in the season, at least that was covered on my YouTube channel. I dropped a lot from 3200 seasonal high to like 2900s, and then I used this team to climb over 100 points, and I got to legend again. So the process of this team is actually very interesting. You have double debuffs, you have close combat in the lead, and you have close combat kind of in your safe swap of Gallade. And then you have two Pokemon that's very weak to fighting type in the lead and in the back. So you could call this an ABA team. So you have a Perrserker and Lapras that's kind of your ace. And then you have Gallade that covers both of these Pokemon. So it's very interesting to play out. I didn't think this was gonna work because I wasn't a fan of ABA teams until I tried this. But having Lapras here is actually very nice. When I had Gyarados, I feel like this team was way too squishy. By having Lapras here, you can use it as kind of like your third and fourth shield to soak up a lot of damage, and then you can switch around between the other two Pokemon. But without further ado, let's get into some of the battles. So Empoleon lead, we're going to see a lot of Empoleon leads tonight. Empoleon leads are actually really good for you because Perrserker can just build up to 2 close combats before they get 2 Hydro Cannons. You shield the first one, and then you should get to 2 close combats here. My opponent got a shield, so maybe he thought that he was just going to swap out. Well, he just wanted to let go because he got the shields. What I should have done here is actually swap out into my Gallade just to see what they have in the back. The fact that he stayed in and then just let it go down makes me think they probably have a Pokemon that's weak to Perrserker. And here we see Alolan Ninetales with the Powder Snow. So he probably has Dazzling Gleam and Weather Ball. So this is really bad for me. I need my Lapras to take out my opponent Talonflame later, so I swap into my Gallade here. If my opponent goes for Dazzling Gleam, this will be very bad for me, but I'm calling it bait, but it was actually a Dazzling Gleam, so it one-shots my Gallade, and this is pretty much game over at this point. My only win condition is maybe my opponent goes for some baits here with the Alolan Ninetales, because you could definitely reach Dazzling Gleam here without a problem. So I think I don't shield this. Yeah, that was my only win condition, basically. But even then, I think we might still not win this game because this Talonflame has enough energy here to get off a Flame Charge. I have to shield. I could definitely time these Surfs correctly because I threw one Ice Shot and then I get one move, so that I ensure that I KO my opponent here before he gets to another move. And this will actually be really, really close. They come back in with the Alolan Ninetales, and then they got a move. They tanked one Ice Shard, and they got to another Weather Ball and 2 more Powder Snows. So, very unfortunate game. If my opponent Alolan Ninetales was any less XL'd, then maybe we could have won that one. But alright, here we land a really bad lead. So these are when I wasn't sure how to play this team, because if I just switched into my Gallade there, I think this game would be so much easier. But this is fine. So here I go into my Gallade against their Talonflame, because Talonflame is really bad. Well, actually I safe swap into my Gallade against the Swampert, because I have 2 counters in the back. And then they go into Talonflame, which is totally fine by me, because Talonflame is also really bad for my Perrserker, right? So I land one Leaf Blade bait, and then I get off another close combat, so this Talonflame is really low. I actually will come out with my Perrserker here, just attempt to farm down, get a little bit energy lead. With energy, I could definitely threaten shields or health from my opponent's Swampert here, especially here, so we get off close combat. And now I'm going to swap out into my Lapras, and actually had a Galvantula here. Okay, so this is a game where I massively misplayed. I should never shield the first one, because even if this is a discharge, that means my moves are not going to be debuffed. The worst case scenario for me is I shield a lunge so that my moves are debuffed, and also I shielded a move that doesn't do too much damage. If I no shielded that, I think this game could definitely be, I would be looking very good here. But because I shielded the lunge, now this is looking really bad. You should never shield the first one in this type of situations, because if they go for discharge, that's fine, because then your serfs are not going to be debuffed, right? But yeah, unfortunately I make a misplay. I was still kind of rusty from Ultra League, learning a lot of the matchups at the beginning, right? But then as these games go on later, I think I definitely start playing better. So here my opponent Swampert one-shots my Perrserker here with one Earthquake. And also, like I mentioned, the first set I only went 2 and 3. And then I started winning a lot more games. Alright, here we're against a person that many of you guys probably know, King IV. We actually battle each other on stream, so this is very interesting. He had an Empoleon lead, and then he swapped into Altaria. So I'm instantly thinking they probably have another Dragon type in the back, right? I have a perfect answer to Altaria in my Lapras. I think I make another mistake later. I actually threw my energy here. This is actually really bad, because I could totally farm this all the way down just with Ice Shards. But I think I wanted to preserve my health just in case they have another Dragon in the back. I want to have a little bit of health on my Lapras just to do some chip damage against their second Dragon in the back. I might actually try to swap out later. So I get off one Surf here. I might get off another one off, and then I'm looking to swap out, because I know my Perrserker probably has a good matchup against their Dragon in the back anyways, and letting this Empoleon getting all the farm is the worst thing that could happen to me. So I instantly swap into my Perrserker. I get off this Iron Head, which it's a bait, because my opponent, it's too risky for my opponent not to shield, right? So I guess that my opponent was going to shield, and now we're going to go for a close combat. I'm hoping this is a CMP tie. If this is a CMP tie, that would be very good for me. We get the 2 shields, so now my opponent has 0 shields. So if they have another Dragon in the back, I think with the shield up, my Gallade can probably handle that. So here I'm going to bring out my Gallade. Yep, and then they show their second Dragon, which was a Dragonite. Here, it's very hard to evaluate the situation, because you can go for a close combat to KO your Dragonite. This Dragonite, but then I don't know if I have enough health to get off another Leaf Blade against the Empoleon. So what I will actually do is hoping that I land the Leaf Blade and then can farm this down, which is exactly what happens. I was also hoping to swap into my Lapras in case I didn't KO, but fortunately it worked out exactly as I was hoping for. So we're able to take that win against probably one of the greatest content creator in Pokemon Go, right? King IV. Alright, here we're against a Gallade lead, which was very good. I'm sorry about the choppy video here. They save swap into Kingdra. So what I'm going to do here is chip it down a little bit with a close combat. We actually get a shield, that's even better, because we have a pretty good answer in the back with our Lapras. They're probably going to go for Outrage here. They actually go for Octazooka debuff. Fortunately, we didn't get debuff there. So I'm just going to get off the Skull Bash. Here again, I'm not going to shield. Outrage does not KO us, and they actually go for another Octazooka, and they didn't get the debuff again, which is super good for us, because now we can get off this Skull Bash, and then just hit one more Ice Shard to KO my opponent. Then my opponent comes back in with Gallade. I'm going to try to CMP tie them to make them throw energy, because I was keep farming up energy. If I threw my energy, they're just going to farm me even more, right? I would rather have them throw energy there. So here I bring back my Perrserker. They actually had a Talonflame in the back, which is not great for me. But fortunately, we do have 2 shields remaining. So what I can do is just bring out my Gallade. and shield twice, I believe, and then land a couple Leaf Blades against this Talonflame. There's a case to be made here that I could just go straight close combat right here, but I actually go for the Leaf Blade. This doesn't KO, but I think with 2 more confusions we're gonna reach another Leaf Blade, and then that should KO my opponent here, which is essentially what I do here. It's very important because they were 2 Incinerates away, but 2 confusions are faster than the 2 Incinerates. If I attempted to farm even more, then we're definitely going to lose that one. Here we're going to get off this Leaf Blade. It might be a CMP tie. It was a CMP tie. Even if that wasn't a CMP tie, I think what I could do is just swap into my Berserker, and then one Shadow Claw will take out my opponent Gallade, just like here. So very good for me. And next game we have Perrserker versus Swampert. Very, very bad lead. I'm going to instantly swap into my Gallade as a safe swap. If they have a fighter in the back, so be it. That would be very terrible for me. We're against a Galvantula. What I'm going to do, because that was a desync swap, I know that if I don't attack first, I could definitely sneak in an extra confusion. So that's what I was going for. And now we're synced up. Now I'm going to go for this Leaf Blade. My opponent doesn't shield. They're still 1 away, so I'm going to just cut off this another Leaf Blade to finish off this Galvantula. And they come back in. I wanted to win switch advantage anyways, right? So they come back in with this Cavalier, and this Pokemon is super good against my team. I basically auto-lose to this Pokemon, almost, because it beats my Perrserker, it walls my Lapras, and it's still very good against my Gallade. It's a fighter that doesn't lose to confusion users, so this is really terrible for me. I'm basically out of win conditions at this point, right? I have to land this Surf, hopefully, on this Cavalier, but because my Lapras is not XL'd, it's lacking a little bit of bulk. Otherwise, I think maybe we could have gotten to the Surf. Unfortunately, yeah, we're very close, but we weren't able to get it. Here, I have to shield this Real Run, otherwise it's definitely going to KO me. Also, I swapped into my Lapras just because I didn't want to get farmed down with my Gallade, because then with extra energy, I already have 2 Pokemon weak to it. If they have extra energy, I'm just going to be even weaker to it, right? So here I'm going to get off this close combat, hoping my opponent to shield. My opponent does not shield, which is actually a great play. And then I go into my Gallade, hoping to farm down with 2 confusions, but the opponent actually survived 2 confusions, and they were able to get to a Hydro Cannon to finish off my Gallade, and that was that sealed the game for my opponent. All right, so I think that was pretty much the last loss I had in the night, and then after that I was just getting straight wins, but we'll see. So here I'm against Empoleon. Again, this is actually a really great matchup because you either get 2 shields or you win switch advantage really hard. So, but you do have to shield first because you don't want to throw close combat right away to get debuffed. So here I'm gonna get off this close combat. I think this is where the game where I got really desynced. But let's see. Yeah, so they got a extra waterfall there, which was weird at the very beginning of the turn. But I'm just gonna swap out right away, trying to soak up some damage from this Empoleon. Also clearing my debuff on my Perrserker, right? Let's see what happens here. So they're out of shields. I still have 1 shield remaining. What I'm going to do is just soak up all these damage with Lapras. This was one of the reasons why Lapras was so good for me here instead of the Gyarados, right? I went for the Skull Bash just to boost up my defense, so that way I survived the next Skull Bash, and that allowed me to get to another Skull Bash here against my opponent Kindra in the back, which is really good for me. So I'm very glad I went for the Skull Bash so I could land the second one, and now I can go for a pretty big farm down, or I throw immediately because I don't want to get debuffed. I don't want to take the chance of getting debuffed. I just throw. I know that I reach there before they do. And we take out the Kindra, which is very good for me. They actually have a Swampert in the back. And pretty much my opponent is out of options at this point. I'm going to build up extra energy as well. my opponent tried to make a catch, which is their only win condition, but they actually caught the confusion, which KO'd the Empoleon right there. So now we just land the Leaf Blade, and then one confusion will KO the Swampert. So good game to my opponent. But he actually had an interesting triple water team, which I saw quite a bit. So here we'll see another Empoleon lead. We're going to see so many Empoleon leads. Which generally, like I said, it's not bad at all, because you could get 2 shields or you win back switch advantage, right? But they almost always swap anyways. Here, yep, I'm going to land this close combat. My opponent definitely will shield the first one. Yep. So now I'm going to get off another close combat here. And my opponent shields again. Again, I just go into my Lapras, hoping to maybe catch a move, soaking up the damage. And my opponent came in with a Swampert, so that was extremely interesting because Swampert is not a counter to Lapras, right? And also, I was thinking if their best answer is Swampert, maybe I should shield this Earthquake. And this Madman actually baits me with the Hydro Cannon. There is no way, in my opinion, that there was no way that they're gonna bait, because like 99% of the time I was the opponent, or on my side, I wasn't gonna shield it because I know I survive it. But now they go for the bigger hitting move, which is Sludge Wave, which is fine. So now I'm just gonna try to farm this Swampert down. I have a lot of energy on my Lapras here. I think I throw 2 serves and then I'm looking to swap out. Oh, I just swap out right away, saving my move. I like this play. So they had a Gyarados in the back. I'm gonna get off this Leaf Blade to chip it down. I think I survive whatever they throw against us anyways. So here is the thing. I don't want to get farmed down, right? Because if I get farmed down, they get a move on their Empoleon. So what I have to do is actually no charge this Leaf Blade whatsoever. I just let this go. And then I'm looking to KO each other at the same time. But my opponent actually threw energy here, which is even better. So that now I can just do 1 Ice Shard to finish off this Gyarados, right? Let's see if that's what I do. So I come back in with the Lapras, hoping to finish it off. So now I get this Surf, and then I'm going to throw double Surf. They get 2 extra Waterfall, which is really bad for me. So I'm probably going to try to swap out to catch a move, which I was able to, just barely. Even if they don't throw energy here, I think my Shadow Claw will take them out before they do. So now I just need 2 Ice Shards to take out this Empoleon, and then 1 Ice Shard to take out my opponent Gyarados, and 1 HP on my Lapras there. So very, very close. But yeah, so that was one situation where you don't want to throw, you don't want to take out your opponent, because then you give your opponent more energy, right? So here we're against a Roserade, and then they had a Machamp, which is very interesting. Obviously very good counter against my Lapras, right? Roserade was really bad because I didn't want to get hit by the Weather Balls, so that's why I went into my Lapras. Alright, so here I go for another Surf, hoping to get a shield, which we do, because if they don't shield, we're going to take back switch advantage, right? And now I can just safely farm down with my Gallade. I'm hoping that my opponent doesn't have payback or return, because that will hit us extremely hard, but most likely they have Rock Slide for the coverage with the Machamp. And then we're able to take out the Machamp with 2 confusions, so now we have extra farm on the Gallade. Here against a Muck, I'm just going to go straight close combat. This will do slightly more than half if they don't shield, and we got that last shield, which was absolutely crucial. They did 4 Snarls, so they're exactly at the Dark Post. I come back in with my Perrserker. I think I should survive 1 Weather Ball. I did lose CMP here, which is a little bit unfortunate, but as long as I take it out, we do survive 1 Weather Ball, and as long as we take this out, we could probably threaten the Pokemon in the back with my close combat. So they come back in with Muck, and I'm going to try to throw on the CMP tie, but I failed. I got greedy. I did 1 extra Shadow Claw, but I should have just thrown the energy right away. So now I build up 1 more, and I'm going to throw close combat, and then I'm going to swap into my Gallade, forcing my opponent to use some energy here, because if they don't use energy, I'm going to get off the Leaf Blade. They actually have to do the Sludge Wave in order to KO, because the Dark Pulse wouldn't KO me, and that allows us to get to the close combat. with our Perrserker here to finish out my opponent. So very well played by my opponent. Actually, my opponent made a few mistakes. I think shielding the Muk the first time I threw the close combat was kind of a mistake, but alright, so here, super bad matchup against Machamp. This is what I mentioned earlier. ABA teams, you're double weak to a fighter in the lead. So what I actually do is just swap into my Lappers, hoping to just sack my Lappers basically. But my opponent makes a perfect switch into Meganium. So now it's actually looking really terrible for me. I don't have Ice Beam, so I'm just going to go for Surfs here. If you guys noticed, Ice Beam is almost always better for me today, or in my battles, instead of Skull Bash, but it is Legacy, and I don't want to spend Elite Charge TM on it, so I'm just using Skull Bash. But if you have Ice Beam, I definitely recommend Ice Beam a lot more. So here we have to tank an Earthquake, and I'm just going to swap into my Gallade, because my only hope to win this game is sweep with my Gallade, basically. I do have to shield a Frenzy Plant. My opponent actually goes for Earthquake, which is extremely interesting. It does do more damage. So they actually had a Politoed in the back, and now I'm thinking maybe there is a chance we win. So they have 3 Pokemon. 2 of them are extremely healthy, but because we got energy lead on this Gallade, I'm thinking we could definitely win this game. Here we go for another Leaf Blade. We're 2 confusions away. They get to the move with our Leaf Blade in the next time, right? But I do need extra energy in order to win this game. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to swap into my Perrserker to catch this Weather Ball. Because this way I can do 2 more confusion before I throw my energy. My opponent actually swapped into Meganium, but that allows me to farm this all the way down. Essentially, I just need 2 moves now. 1 close combat in order to KO my opponent Machamp, and then I need a Leaf Blade to KO the back Politoed, which is what happens here. And good game to my opponent. That was actually incredible that Gallade was able to sweep in the end game. I would say Gallade is definitely an MVP on this team. It's been so good in so many situations. Alright, this is a dream lead. If they have Charm or they have Powder Snow here, it doesn't matter. You just wall them. I throw this Iron Head on the CMP when they get to the Dazzling Gleam, just to see if they want to shield. And they do decide to shield. If this is a Dazzling Gleam, we survive. If this is a Weather Ball, we also survive. So I just let it go. It does decent amount of damage with the Dazzling Gleam. And now I'm going to go for another Iron Head. Ooh, I actually don't go for the Iron Head. Well, I do survive this Weather Ball. They even build up to the Dazzling Gleam, right? So now I'm going to throw this Iron Head on the CMP when they get to the next Weather Ball. And just to see if my opponent wants to shield. My opponent decides to shield again. I recognize that I'm only 1 Shadow Claw away from my Iron Head. And it will definitely KO, so I just shield once and then get off this Iron Head to ensure that I win the lead. And then we'll see what they have in the back. Let's see. And my opponent... Okay, my opponent doesn't let me see what they have in the back. But good game to my opponent. It was very good, big advantage for me already. We won the lead with 1 shield advantage, right? So this is a pretty good lead against Gengar. My opponent instant swap into Swampert. I'm trying to get a move before I swap out, but we were desynced, so my opponent was able to throw this move before I get to my close combat. I think it was a desync CMP, so we end up having to throw this close combat as well, but we do get a shield. Now I'm gonna try to catch a move. I swapped just when they get to the Hydro Cannon, which was 4 more must shots after the first one. And they didn't throw, so they get off this Earthquake here. Now I'm going to get off the Surf, which should almost KO my opponent here. This might be a game where I make a little bit of mistake. They're very low here, but they barely survive, and they get off this Hydro Cannon. But we do take out the Swampert. Okay, I think this game is looking pretty good, actually. They probably bring out their Gengar back, but Gengar doesn't KO me. They actually go back into Poliwrath. Okay, so this is very interesting. Against Poliwrath, there is a case to be made here that I should swap into my Perrserker. Because my Gallade can probably handle the Gengar in the back with shield advantage. So they actually bring out their Gengar. I let my Lapras go down because I know my Gallade probably walls the Poliwrath, right? and they came back in with Gengar, chip it down with Confusions and Leaf Blade, and now I'm just going to go into my Berserker and then farm it down. I got greedy here. I didn't throw my close combat. I was hoping to do a little bit more Confusions before throwing, but I didn't die to it. I didn't die to the Ice Punch, so I get off this close combat anyways, which is perfect for me. And now they're pretty much in 1-2 Confusion range. I just shield in case they have a Hydro Pump or something, but they probably have Ice Punch and Dynamic Punch, which we should totally be able to tank with our Gallade, and that was a good game. Alright, so yeah, Gallade has been really good for this team against all these water types. Alright, another Dream Lead. Abomasnow can't really do anything to you. We see a Mandibuzz. Alright, so I think I'm going to tank one move and then chip it down with one close combat so that my Lapras can have an easier time against this Mandibuzz. Lapras still has a very good matchup against it anyways, but we don't have Ice Beam, so I'm just going to swap out later, and now I go into my Lapras just to ensure that I win this matchup like 100% of the time at this point. If I had Ice Beam, I would probably instant swap instead of throwing a move, but because we don't have Ice Beam, right, I just go into my Lapras here, I get off the Surf. It should almost KO. There's still one. Okay, so this is interesting. I think I make another misplay maybe. Alright, so they came back in with the Abomasnow. My switch time is not back up yet. I'm trying to chip it down with my my move there. I should definitely let this go. Okay, I shield. I actually was survived there because I got the defense buff, right, with my move. So I think that was a huge misplay by me, unfortunately. Alright, so we came back in with Berserker, we walled that Pokemon and we take it out. Here we're against Swampert, and now we're gonna get farmed all the way down, and that is very, very bad for me, right? Also, we don't have the defense. We weren't able to get to the second close combat. The Swampert is absolutely loaded, and I don't have the defense buff on my Lapras anymore. So now I'm in Earthquake range, and this is looking pretty terrible for me. They actually have Sludge Wave, so we barely survive. And I think we swap into Gallade. So my opponent's only win condition is actually catching my Leaf Blade on their low health Mandibuzz. So here my opponent gets off 2 moves. And as you guys are gonna see, I think that's what happens. So they do 2 Mud Shots and they swap into Mandibuzz, which I was anticipating as well because I knew that their only win condition was this, right? So now I just try to do as much confusion as possible. My opponent gets to another move here, and now I am very nervous. They're 2 Ice Shards away from taking out, and we actually KO each other simultaneously because my Lapras doesn't have the greatest IVs. But if we were XL, then maybe we would have won, but that's okay. That was still a very close game, and they made a really amazing catch at the end there, so it's fine. All right, here we're against Empoleon, and that was a draw, so we don't actually lose Elo by that. My opponent swapped into a Gyarados here. They have an Empoleon lead and they have a Gyarados, so they have 2 water types already. So I'm thinking maybe they have triple water, right? I think I saw quite a bit of triple water teams today, which is very interesting. But Lapras is super good against this Gyarados. The Gyarados pretty much doesn't do any damage to me, and I can just do a lot of Ice Shards, go for a Surf here, and then do a few more extra Ice Shards, get a little bit more energy, and then take it out. Yep. So that's what it looks like that's gonna happen here. They get off another move, which is fine. They get us low, but we have a lot of energy to threaten what they have in the back. So they go back in with Empoleon. I think I'm actually going to save a Surf and then swap into my Berserker. Swapping to Berserker, get off this Iron Head. I made the same play earlier because I know they will shield for sure, right? And if they want to take out my Berserker, that's fine. I'm just going to rely on my Gallade here because I just want to get some energy jumpstart with my Gallade. Also, I'm recognizing that maybe if I shield once, I could farm this Empoleon down. Which is what I'm trying to do here. I shield this time, and then I should be able to farm this Empoleon all the way down, right? Oh, my opponent actually had a Swampert in the back, so that makes things a lot more easier because now I can just go for back-to-back leaf blades because we did get that extra energy. We still have a move stored even on our lappers, so there really isn't much my opponent can do here. I could probably just confusion down this Empoleon. Even if they took me out, I still have a surf to take out this Empoleon in the back, right? Alright, next game we have Perrserker versus Swampert. One of the worst leads. I think I go for the safe swap into my Gallade. My opponent safe swap into Gyarados to respond to my Gallade. Alright, Gyarados is not a great response to Gallade at all, because they do have to shield. Otherwise, I can just shield twice and maintain, take back switch advantage, right? Which is what happens here. I'm going to farm a little bit more and then get off this Leaf Blade. If my opponent does not shield, then I will win. I will shield one more time and then take back switch advantage. Even if my opponent shields, I outpace to my opponent because I swapped in slightly earlier, right? That means I'm going to get off this Leaf Blade right away. And also, I'm at a health where my opponent cannot farm me down with their Swampert. So they're actually coming with Lappers trying to farm me down. If I get to this close combat, I get to this close combat with 1 HP. And this is probably the worst case scenario for my opponent because now they have pretty much 0 health on their Lappers. And I'm going to come in with my Perrserker here. I resist the Ice Shards, and the Surfs don't do that much damage. I should be able to tank them very well. They come back in with the Swampert. I'm trying to get off this close combat. Even if I don't, that's fine. Okay. I think I could have definitely got into it if I wanted to, but I know that Lappers already beats Swampert and the 0 shield when they expend all their energy, right? All I have to do is go for the Skull Bash here. Okay. I don't know why I'm not going for the Skull Bash because it definitely KOs, and I need 2 surfs anyways to KO this Swampert. But this is also fine because their Lappers almost have 0 HP. But yeah, my opponent leaves the match, and that was game over. So yeah, as you guys saw, we didn't do that well at the beginning with this team. But as we started learning about this team, we started doing much better. And in the end, we were able to climb over 100 points and hit Legend again. I think we're sitting around 30, 80-ish elo. And then maybe I'll play this team again, or maybe I'll try some different team to showcase for my future video. I think Perrserker is super fun to play with. It just has very interesting movesets, right? And also it looks really cool. Gallade is just MVP as always. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. Hit the like button and subscribe for more. And I will see you guys in my next video.